Hey guys, Dave here. Today I wanted to talk about the SX500. So this is a Razer SX500. This is a 500 watt electric dirt bike, I guess, that you can purchase for your kids. And we got these at Christmas of 2021 and we're in September of 2022. So we've had them for a little less than a year, and I wanted to do a review on these because I think they're really cool bikes, and I couldn't find a whole lot of reviews on them. So that there's a few out there, but I wanted to put in my 2 cents. So as you can see, we have more than one. We actually have 3 of them. Originally, we purchased 4, and I'm going to talk about why we only have 3, some of the pros, some of the cons, some issues that we've had with them, and just the overall specs of the bike. So walking around this is again, the SX500. We're looking at a seat height of about 24 to 24 and a half inches. And just going over the bike itself, it is a beefy, well-built bike. I did purchase these online from Walmart, and they just shipped to my door in a box. And really easy to put together. Really 5 steps. You got to put the front wheel on. You got to put the handlebars on. You clip this piece on and adjust the levers, get these in the right spot, and then you're off and running. The hardest part, I think, would be putting on the front tire and getting the brakes situated. So that's the most difficult part. And it really is you just have a long bolt that goes all the way through this, so you just have to have a wrench for both sides, and you're going to just slip it in. I mean, the wheel comes, the brake's already on it, and it's great. Top speed for these is around 15 miles an hour. It does get about, it says on the website it gets up to 40 minutes of run time. For electric bicycles, they're always crazy generous with the power on these. Oh, it'll go for 75 miles, then you get 20. That's not the case with this. You can go for 40 minutes. And what that means is you're messing around in the dirt, full on the throttle, 40 minutes of continuous use around there. And when they say up to, they really mean it's really dependent on the rider weight. So these can have up to 175 pounds max weight. Now I weigh 205 pounds. And I ride these things. In fact, this one's mine right here. I wrote my name on it, Dave. I do use the shocks quite a bit more, but I don't bottom them out. It's pretty great. In fact, I've even ridden with my nephews and my nieces and my daughters on it. We've put about 250 pounds on this, and it's fine. When you get over that 150, 175 pound mark, what you are going to lose is power. This is a 36 volt, 500 watt, 36 volt configuration. And there are 3 12 amp hour lead acid batteries right in the center here. So that means we have 12 amp hours to work with at 36 volts. 36 volts is pretty tame, especially for my weight. And you go, I think I ride these for about 30 minutes. And then I hit the low power. I could definitely ride for 40, but once you hit the low power, power is pretty down on it. And then up hills, for example, we have like a grade of like about 15 degrees up over here. And I can get up it, but it's like walking speed on my way up, which is completely different from my daughter. My daughter weighs 50 to 55 pounds. And she just blows up the hill on this thing. So if you're riding with your with your kid and your kid's on a separate one, they're gonna love it because they're gonna beat you, and there's really nothing you can do about it because you're heavy and they're not. So she actually, I don't know. You could say it's a pro for the kids, con for the adults. That's unfortunate. But cool thing about it is that this thing can take a lot of weight. I put 250 pounds on here. I've gone on it 205 pounds again. I'm 6'1", 205 pounds. Of course, you're going to be a little cramped when you get on it, but, when I'm on it, my knees are right here. I can still move the handlebar back and forth, which is awesome. And I'm 6'1" with a 32-inch inseam. Well, 33-inch inseam. We do have front and rear suspension on these. So nice front, nice rear. You know, we even have an adjustable rear shock here. I haven't adjusted it at all. It's adjusted pretty high up there. And again, it works really well. I'm extremely impressed. It does have a steel frame and it weighs 96 pounds. Pretty heavy, especially for a kid. But it maneuvers okay. And we do have 11-inch rims and 14-inch tires, front and rear. The SX650 is slightly different than the... So these are almost the same, the SX500 and the SX650. The 650 comes with the 16-inch front or 17-inch front and a 650-watt motor. That's really the only difference between the two. So I was looking at the SX650 as well today, and it's not much more expensive than the 500. If that was the case when I purchased it, I would have purchased a 650. They only come in one color. This comes in green, and that's what it is. Again, that's kind of the piece there. Now, let's get into some of the issue that I've had with these. The issue is the brakes. Now, the brakes are excellent when they work. Now, this is the 3mm thick rotor. You've got your brake pads, cable, and this is going to be 48 millimeters. 6 of these, 48 millimeters. The standard for a bicycle is 44. I think non-standard for other things is like 48 millimeters. Anyway, so you can purchase these and put them on, which I have had to do. So the front brake on our 4th motorcycle that we purchased was completely messed up, and I couldn't get it to work no matter what I did. I don't know what was wrong with it. Again, I'm the kind of guy, I'm not super handy when it comes to like adjusting the brakes on my bicycle. I look up a video on YouTube and then I adjust the brakes. I can, but I definitely consult YouTube for more of an expert to help me out on that. But I can do it, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that complicated. But for some reason, the brakes are a little funky on this. And I think it's because of how they're made. So you can see here, you can actually move the brake. It's completely tightened on here as tight as it can go. It's nice, but you've got this play in it, and it's because there's a spring inside here, I believe. And you also have this adjuster piece right here where you can twist to adjust it, and it adjusts it that direction or this direction. So you got these brakes that are supposed to be kind of dummy proof, but they also kind of mess up. So one of the cool things about like a bicycle disc brake is the fact that, you know, once it's in place, nothing's moving. It's there, but you have to adjust it correctly. So what happened on these bikes is that we had one of the brakes would lock up randomly. And I don't know if it would just twist or what, but the front brake on one of these bikes would just lock up. And I just got sick of it and I gave it back. And then about 6 months into this, I had this other front brake just completely failed. It just, this front brake actually right here, it just stopped working. And I ended up just replacing it. I actually threw the brake away. You can see the rotor right here. There's the 3mm rotor, and there's the brake piece. The pads were worn on the inside. You can see right there how it's kind of worn down like that. But something happened. We weren't using them that much. Like, we don't ride these that often, maybe twice a week, and wouldn't expect it to be worn out that quickly. So what I ended up doing is, this is kind of getting away from, I guess this is still part of it. So what I ended up doing is buying a $30 set on Amazon, and I just threw it on. So went from a 3mm rotor to a 2mm rotor, and you still have those 6 bolts. I just reused the bolts and then stuck it on here. And it works pretty well. If you can stick with the stock stock brakes, that's great. I just know that I purchased 4 motorcycles, and in 9 months I had issues with 2 of them. Both of them were the front brakes, so keep that in mind as well. I'm not an expert. Both of them were the front brakes. Maybe it was user error. Who knows? I haven't had an issue with the back brakes. Well, I have, but I've been able to fix it. Next thing, we're just going to take it for a little spin, I think, and I'll take mine, and we'll just take it for a little spin. So, super simple to use. To turn it on, you flip this button. There's a toggle on off, click, and then this is the charge port. And the charge port is just a 3-pin, and here's the charger. I just have them dangling right here so I can easily charge them. That's what the charger looks like. Charger cable anyway. And they just plug in, and you charge them for about 12 hours. So this thing's turned on. So it's got full power here, right? There's a full and then a low. What this does in terms of how it monitors it, it just looks at the voltage. So, and when you put a battery under load, there's going to be some droop. So there's going to be some droop in the voltage. So as you accelerate and the battery's kind of low, you're going to get a low light, and then it's going to go back to full once you stop pulling so much juice from the battery. So this is essentially fully charged. I charged it yesterday and it's just been sitting in the garage, but has some pretty good get up and go. And we'll just head around here. I weigh 205 pounds. I kind of hold onto the gas tank with this, so it is a little squirrely with these tiny little tires. So when I first rode it, I was like, oh my gosh, it really kind of moves around, doesn't it? You get used to it, it's not bad. It really helps to kind of grip the gas tank, kind of like you would with a normal motorcycle when you're riding around. Anyway, so that's full throttle up a hill. I'm probably going about 9 miles an hour. So, let's go up another hill. This is 15 miles an hour, definitely. You can kind of hear the motor. You can hear me going. So we're going to head up here. So this is up a steeper hill, probably about 10 to 11 degrees in terms of grade, maybe 12. And it's clipping along. Not bad. It's great. And if you have this full throttle again, you're going to get, for me, I get 30 to 35 minutes of use with it. If you're just putting around town though, like you're going to be doing this when you're going down the hill, I'm going to have this off the throttle. If you're just cruising, I've gone about 10 miles on this. Well, I've gone 8 miles on this, and it hasn't been a problem. You can get about 10 to 12 miles on this before you really hit low, but that highly depends on your weight. If I'm maxing it out, I can max out the throttle like this for about 6 miles, and then it starts to give me issues. My little daughter, who weighs 55 pounds, she can do it for 12 miles before it gives her the same issue. So it highly depends on how much you weigh and how much you're really taxing this little motor, this 500 watt motor, on how much range you're going to get out of this. But again, they didn't sugarcoat the numbers or anything. You're going to get a good amount of range on this bike. It's not like you're only going to ride for 15 minutes. No, you're going to get a good amount of time on the bike, which is excellent. Awesome bike, 100% recommended. Just beware of the brake issue that I had, or if you're better with brakes than I am, don't worry about it. That's it. That's my review of the Razer SX500. Pretty cool bike.